So I've told you the story of Potato the Cat. By now, Potato the Cat is an integral part of our household, and eventually, Potato the Cat gets pregnant. As a matter of fact, twice. So we wind up with two overlapping litters of kittens in this house, which is, both terrifying and hysterical at the same time. These cats were all descendants of the original Potato. You would come home from class and they'd be hanging on the drapes and crawling up the speakers and jumping off the second story balcony and tearing after each other and so forth and so on. They were, like I said, both terrifying and hysterical at the same time. So it was kind of fun most of the time. Well, one of the litters that Potato had, there was one cat that looked different than all the rest. That litter, most of the cats kind of looked like Potato, gray with black and white paws and nose and that type of thing. A couple, I think, were solid black. And there was this one cat that was solid gray. And it had some type of defects from birth. Only one of this cat's eyes were opened, and its head was crooked, hanging off to the side, and it couldn't walk very good. And so we named this cat Slinky because it looked like a slinky rolling down the stairs, because the poor thing couldn't keep its balance. There was something wrong with its head or its neck, and it couldn't see, it couldn't fend for itself, and so the other cats were always beating up on it. And it couldn't, when it was young, couldn't get a position on the teat to get milk. So I used to have to part the kittens and push this one onto a teat so it could eat. And I used to protect this one from the other cats beating up on it and so forth. So Slinky's another one that used to follow me around and all of that because, again, I guess it thought I was one of its mothers or whatever. But, he or she, I don't remember anymore, did, pretty good and eventually started to grow up. It was kind of able to get around on its own now and could eat, when you fed the cats and all that, but you still had to kind of look out for this one because it couldn't defend itself very well because it couldn't see right, and one eye never opened and all that. So I come home from partying or whatever was going on one night, and there's some of my roommates with their buddies, and they're all sitting around and everybody's wasted. If you're detecting a pattern here with regards to my college years, you would be correct. Again, I'm not condoning all of this behavior, but hey, that's my past. So it's, love me. To love me is to know me. To know me is to love me. I don't know. In any event, so I come walking in the door and these guys are, boneheads are wasted as usual. I won't get into the specifics, but stereos blasting, everybody's giggling and laughing, eating Cheetos and all of that, so you figure it out. And one of them looks up at me and he goes, "Hey man, is that your effed up cat, that gray one?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "Man, we fixed it." And I said, "What?" And they said, "Man, we fixed your effed up gray cat." And I immediately started to panic. "What do you mean you fixed it?" "Well, man, we were looking at that effed up cat and it's staring at us with one eye closed and its head's all off to the side and it can't walk right and all that. So one of us looked at it and said, 'Hey, man, this cat's neck is messed up.' So we grabbed it and we yanked on its neck and it made a popping noise. And then the cat yelped out and then took off running completely normal. And his eyes are both open. He's fixed." And I'm like, "What? You a-holes, you did what to my cat?" So I go running around yelling out for this cat, thinking it's dead. They've broken its neck. And I find this cat hanging out with the rest of the cats upstairs. It's 100% normal. These idiots were stoned and they grabbed my cat and they yanked on its neck and they performed a chiropractic adjustment that worked, straightened out what must have been a messed up vertebra or something from birth, and then everything became normal And that cat lived a completely normal life for years after that. So, somewhere in all of this college haze, genius was born.